Of virgins in the Force, Anakin Skywalker was born on the desert planet of Tatooine in the Outer Rim territories. He was the son of Shmi Skywalker, a slave who conceived a child without a father. His blood contained over 20,000 midichlorians, surpassing Grandmaster Yoda and all other Jedi in the galaxy. Qui-Gon Jinn, the Jedi Master who discovered Skywalker, theorized that Skywalker was conceived by the midichlorians. Following the Battle of Naboo, the Jedi High Council admitted Anakin Skywalker into the Order as the Padawan of Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi, despite feeling that he was too old and emotional to adhere to the Jedi Code. Skywalker remained a Padawan through the beginning of the Clone Wars, instigated by events set in motion by Count Dooku. Although Jedi doctrine prohibited romantic relationships, Anakin Skywalker had a secret wife, Senator Padmé Amidala of Naboo. During the early days of the Clone Wars, Skywalker served as a Jedi General in the Grand Army of the Republic, commanding the clone troopers of the elite 501st Legion against the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Following the death of Count Dooku, Skywalker's faith in the Jedi was further shaken when he was put on the Jedi Council without the rank of Master. He also learned that the Supreme Chancellor was the elusive Dark Lord of the Sith who orchestrated the war in order to take over the galaxy. Manipulated into believing that the Jedi had failed him and coupled with his fear of losing his wife in childbirth, Skywalker betrayed and turned against the Jedi Order, believing the Dark Lord had the knowledge to cheat death. Consumed by the persona of Darth Vader, the fallen Jedi Knight marched his legion of stormtroopers on the Jedi Temple of Coruscant, where they executed its inhabitants, including Jedi younglings, as part of Order 66 and the Great Jedi Purge. Vader was then sent to a volcanic planet to exterminate the Separatist Council at the behest of his Sith Master, who became the self-proclaimed Galactic Emperor. Vader subsequently sustained severe injuries in his duel with Kenobi, and was rebuilt as an armored cyborg, while his wife died on Polis Massa, though not before giving birth to the twins Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia Organa, who were hidden from their father and the Emperor as the Galactic Empire rose to power. Kenobi was born Force-sensitive, and therefore taken from his family and inducted into the Jedi Order as a child. Raised in the Jedi Grand Temple, Kenobi was assigned to Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn. Kenobi attained the rank of Jedi Knight by defeating the Sith Lord Darth Maul during the invasion of Naboo. He also chose to train Anakin Skywalker, the prophesied Chosen One, who was destined to destroy the Sith and restore balance to the Force, having promised Jinn, who died in the lightsaber duel against Maul. With the advent of the Clone Wars, Kenobi adopted the military rank of High Jedi General in the Grand Army of the Galactic Republic. Eventually, Kenobi killed the Separatist commander, General Grievous, effectively ending the Clone Wars. He later survived the initial onslaught of the Great Jedi Purge against the Jedi Order, which resulted from the machinations of the Sith Lord Darth Sidious. After discovering that Skywalker had turned to the dark side of the Force, becoming Sidious' Sith apprentice under the name of Darth Vader, Kenobi defeated his former Padawan on Mustafar and exiled himself to the Outer Rim planet Tatooine. As the Galactic Empire rose to power, adopting a hermit lifestyle, Ben Kenobi, he watched over Vader's and Senator Padmé Amidala's son, Luke. 10 years later, Kenobi was hunted down once again by Maul, whom he finally slew to protect the young Luke. Kenobi began the boy's Jedi training when Luke came of age, and soon after encountered Vader aboard the first Death Star, where he sacrificed himself to ensure that Luke and his allies escaped from the Sith Lord. In death, Kenobi became one with the Force, which allowed him to continue guiding Luke throughout the Galactic Civil War. Sensing his potential, Darth Sidious took Maul as an apprentice while he was still a child. Anointed by his Sith Master as Darth Maul, the Dathomirian was raised to hate the Jedi Knights that served the light side of the Force. Desiring to see the Jedi Order fall, Darth Maul trained for the day when the Sith would exact revenge on their ancient foes. The time for revealing the Sith's continued existence to the Jedi came during the invasion of Naboo, when Darth Maul confronted Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Though he killed Jinn, Maul was, in turn, defeated by Kenobi, who bisected the Sith assassin at the waist. Darth Maul was believed to be dead in the aftermath of the battle, but ultimately survived, emerging a decade after his defeat, during the height of the Clone Wars. Despite learning that his master took a new apprentice, Maul still believed that he was a Sith Lord, taking his brother as an apprentice. Maul and Opress held that they were the true Sith other than Sidious and Tyrannus. He then devised a scheme to seize power on the planet Mandalore, overthrowing the new Mandalorians and installing the Death Watch as the new ruling government. In addition to the Mandalorians, Maul expanded his criminal enterprise, the Shadow Collective, to include the Pike Syndicate, Black Sun, and the Hutt clan. However, as his power increased, Maul became a threat to his former master's plan, resulting in a confrontation that concluded with Opress's demise and Maul's capture by Sidious. After escaping with the help of his Mandalorian super commandos, Maul resumed his reign on Mandalore until he was overthrown by the Grand Army of the Republic. Maul survived the end of the Clone Wars, witnessing the Great Jedi Purge of Order 66 and Sidious's rise as Galactic Emperor. Chastened by his former master on the principle of the Rule of Two, Maul abandoned his claim to the mantle of the Sith, focusing instead on building an empire of his own, the Crimson Dawn, by controlling the criminal underworld. Ultimately, though, Maul remained driven by the desire for revenge, specifically against Sidious, the master who disowned him, and Kenobi, the Jedi who defeated him. During his conflict with the Jedi fugitives Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger, Maul tracked Kenobi to Tatooine, determined to finally end their rivalry for good. Their last lightsaber duel ended when the Jedi Master struck down his old nemesis. Believing that Kenobi had consigned himself to a life of exile to protect the Chosen One, Maul died, taking comfort in the belief that he would be avenged once the Sith's prophesied destruction was realized. Luke Skywalker, a Force-sensitive human male, was a legendary Jedi Master who fought in the Galactic Civil War during the reign of the Galactic Empire. Along with his companions, Princess Leia Organa and General Han Solo, Skywalker served as a revolutionary on the side of the Alliance to restore the Republican organization committed to the downfall of the Galactic Empire and the restoration of democracy. Following the war, Skywalker became a living legend and was remembered as one of the greatest Jedi in galactic history. Luke was raised by his relatives on Tatooine. Longing for a life of adventure and purpose, Skywalker joined the rebellion and began learning the ways of the Force under the guidance of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. During the Battle of Yavin, Skywalker saved the Alliance from annihilation by destroying the Empire's planet-killing super weapon, the Death Star. He continued his training in the years that followed, determined to become a Jedi Knight like his father before him, and found a new mentor in Grandmaster Yoda. After his master's death, Skywalker participated in the Battle of Enderin, during which he confronted the Sith Lord Darth Vader, whom he learned was in fact his father, Anakin Skywalker. With Luke's help, Anakin returned to the light side of the Force by killing the Emperor at the cost of his own life, fulfilling his destiny as the Chosen One. As a young man fighting for survival on the mean streets of Corellia, Han yearned to fly among the stars with dreams of becoming the galaxy's best pilot. Han became rivals and close friends with fellow smuggler Lando Calrissian and the Wookiee Chewbacca, the latter who became his best friend. Calrissian owned the Millennium Falcon, a fast ship with which Han made the Kessel Run in just 12 parsecs and won from Lando in a game of Sobek, with only Chewbacca remaining at his side as his trusted co-pilot who swore a life debt to the Corellian smuggler. Han Solo embarked on a smuggling career under the employ of Jabba the Hutt, a notorious gangster and crime lord of Tatooine. After ditching a shipment of spice to avoid trouble with the Empire, Solo owed a great deal of money to Jabba, who then placed a bounty on the smuggler's head. As a result, his fortune seemed to have changed when Han and Chewbacca were hired to charter Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the droids R2-D2 and C-3PO to Alderaan, avoiding Imperial stormtroopers who were searching for Luke's droids. However, as they find Alderaan destroyed by the Empire's new super weapon, the Death Star, Solo became caught up in the rebellion against the Empire, rescuing Princess Leia Organa, delivering the stolen Death Star plans to the hidden rebel base on Yavin 4, and saved Luke from the Sith Lord Darth Vader in the Battle of Yavin, allowing Skywalker to destroy the Death Star. Solo fought with the rebellion for a number of years afterward, taking part in numerous operations and battles against the Empire. After the Battle of Hoth, Solo sought refuge with Organa, with whom he had fallen in love, Chewbacca, and C-3PO on Cloud City, which was operated by his old friend Lando Calrissian. There, they were captured by Darth Vader as part of a trap to bait Skywalker to the city. Solo was frozen in carbonite and taken to Jabba's palace on Tatooine by the bounty hunter Boba Fett, where he remained encased in carbonite 4 months until he was rescued by his friends. After returning to the Alliance fleet, Solo was promoted to the rank of general. Solo led the rebel squad to Endor, where he, Organa, Chewbacca, and the Special Forces team, with the help of the native Ewoks, destroyed the shield generator protecting the second Death Star that was being constructed in orbit. Their actions allowed the Alliance fleet to destroy the super weapon. The Battle of Endor, which saw the deaths of Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader, allowed the rebellion to form the New Republic. In the aftermath of the Battle of Hoth, Prince Xizor was considered one of the most influential beings in the galaxy due to his exceptional wealth and influence through his criminal activities. Xizor maintained an amenable business relationship with the Galactic Empire, as well as other notable syndicates, such as the Hutt cartel led by the notorious Jabba the Hutt. During this time, Xizor also developed a bitter rivalry with Darth Vader within the shadows of the Empire, seeking to win Emperor Palpatine favor over his apprentice by murdering Luke Skywalker. His fixation on undermining Vader would be his undoing, however, as an infiltration of Xizor's palace on Imperial Center by Princess Leia Organa and subsequent battle by his private skyhook in orbit led to the Dark Prince's demise at the command of Vader. Chewbacca, known affectionately to his friends as Chewie, was a Wookiee male warrior, smuggler, mechanic, pilot, and resistance fighter who fought in the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War. During the Clone Wars, he commanded Wookiee forces of the Kachiyho Wookiee militia during the Battle of Kashyyyk alongside the Grand Army of the Republic, led by Jedi General Yoda. During the battle, one of the last ones of the war, Yoda's clone troopers received Order 66 from the Sith Lord Darth Sidious and, with the help of Chewbacca and his fellow Wookiee chieftain and General Tarful, Yoda escaped Kashyyyk and the destruction of the Jedi Order. In the years that followed, during the rule of the Galactic Empire, Chewbacca was enslaved by the Empire until he was rescued by Corporal Han Solo, becoming his co-pilot aboard the Millennium Falcon during a raid on Kessel 4 Crimson Dawn. They later worked in the employ of crime Jabba the Hutt until Solo was forced to dump a shipment of spice to avoid trouble with the Empire, at which point a bounty was placed on their heads. Soon thereafter, Chewbacca and Solo were hired by Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi to ferry him, Luke Skywalker, C-3PO, and R2-D2 to Alderaan on a mission vital to the survival of the Alliance, to restore the Republic. After finding Alderaan was destroyed, the group was brought aboard the Death Star, where they helped Princess Leia Organa escape from captivity and return to the rebel base on Yavin 4. Though Chewbacca and Solo initially chose to leave Yavin 4 and not join the rebellion, they ended up fighting in the Battle of Yavin and were instrumental in Skywalker's destruction of the Death Star, a major victory for the rebellion. Throughout the war, Chewbacca and Solo fought the Empire in a number of engagements, and along with Princess Organa and C-3PO, they escaped from Echo Base on the planet Hoth after the Empire tracked the Rebel Alliance there. The group sought refuge with Lando Calrissian on Cloud City, but Calrissian betrayed them and turned them over to Darth Vader, the Emperor's chief enforcer. After his city was threatened, Han Solo was frozen in carbonite and Calrissian helped the others escape. But they were too late to save the frozen Solo from being taken by Boba Fett to Jabba the Hutt. Chewbacca and Calrissian set off to find Solo and located him in Jabba's palace on Tatooine, where Chewbacca and his friends saved Solo and destroyed Jabba. Shortly thereafter, they fought in the Battle of Endor, where Chewbacca helped destroy the shield generator and allowed the Alliance fleet to destroy the Death Star too. Beginning his service in the employ of Queen Amidala of Naboo, R2-D2 wound up serving Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker during the waning years of the Galactic Republic, often accompanied by the protocol droid C-3PO, yearning the adventures throughout the Clone Wars. After Skywalker turned to the dark side of the Force, the droid served Senator Bail Organa for a time in the Imperial Senate. 19 years following the purge of the Galactic Republic, R2-D2 played a pivotal role, helping the Rebel Alliance destroy the Empire's Death Star superweapon. He carried technical readouts vital to its destruction, serving Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, the son of his two former masters, throughout the Galactic Civil War. He participated in both the battles of Hoth and Endor, and witnessed the successful destruction of the Empire's second Death Star for years after the first one was demolished. Born as Leia Amidala Skywalker, she was the daughter of the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and Senator Padme Amidala of Naboo. Her birth occurred in the aftermath of the Clone Wars, which saw the Jedi Order purged and the Galactic Republic reorganized into the Galactic Empire. With her mother's death in childbirth and her father's fall to the dark side of the Force, Leia and her twin brother, Luke, were separated to keep them hidden from the hands of her father and the Emperor. As the adopted daughter of politician Bail Organa, Leia grew up peacefully, albeit secluded on Alderaan. Eventually, Leia succeeded Bail by representing their homeworld in the Imperial Senate, though secretly she supported the rebellion. During the Galactic Civil War, however, Alderaan was destroyed along with its inhabitants and the royal family by the Empire's Death Star Mobile battle station, causing Organa to openly fight the New Order as one of the Rebel Alliance's substantial heroes. In the aftermath of the Battle of Endor, Organa married the Corellian smuggler Han Solo and learned the Jedi arts as her brother's apprentice until giving birth to her son, Ben Solo, on the day of the Empire's capitulation. After serving time in prison, Boba Fett took up his late father's profession as a bounty hunter, working alongside other mercenaries, such as Bossk and Dengar, while also notably apprenticing himself to his father's infamous brief protégé, Cad Bane. In the aftermath of the Clone Wars, Fett continued to make a name for himself while working for the gangster Jabba the Hutt, as well as the Sith Lord Darth Vader. During the Galactic Civil War, the bounty hunter managed to track down Captain Han Solo to Bespin on a contract for the Galactic Empire, hoping to deliver him to Jabba's palace on Tatooine. On Bespin, Solo was frozen in carbonite and Fett soon delivered him to Jabba. Fett tried to prevent Solo's rescue by the Alliance to restore the Republic, only to fall into the Great Pit of Carkoon when the unfrozen smuggler Han Solo accidentally slammed a pole into the bounty hunter's jetpack, causing it to malfunction.
Jabba the Hutt was a male gangster and crime lord, as well as a leading member of the Grand Hutt Council and influential leader of the Hutt clan, who operated and led a criminal empire from his palace on the Outer Rim world of Tatooine. Jabba was a major figure on Tatooine, where he controlled the bulk of the piracy, slavery, and trafficking in illegal goods that generated most of the planet's wealth. He was also highly influential in the entire Outer Rim as one of its most powerful crime lords. During the Clone Wars, Jabba's influence and power over the Outer Rim, specifically his hyperlanes, was sought by both the Galactic Republic and the Confederacy of Independent Systems, who both courted Jabba's approval. Jabba continued to operate in the Outer Rim after the end of the Clone Wars and the rise of the Galactic Empire, preserving his power base despite the interference of the Galactic Emperor. After the smuggler Han Solo failed to repay him for lost cargo, Jabba placed a high price on his head. Solo was eventually delivered to him by one of his bounty hunters, Boba Fett, as a gift from Darth Vader. However, this capture brought him to the attention of Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, who sought to rescue his friend from Jabba's imprisonment. As he attempted to execute the Jedi and his allies in the Great Pit of Carkoon, Jabba was choked to death by Leia Organa.
C-3PO was rebuilt from spare parts by Anakin Skywalker, a human slave who lived in Mount Espa, a city on the outer rim world of Tatooine. During the Clone Wars, he would serve the Naboo Senator Padmé Amidala. Shortly after the Clone Wars, C-3PO's memory was erased, though R2-D2's memory was not. C-3PO and R2-D2 served Senator Bail Organa for 19 years, assisting in his fledgling resistance movement against the Galactic Empire. At some point during this time, C-3PO's right leg was fitted with mismatched plating. C-3PO remained constant companions with R2, and eventually, the pair became embroiled in the Galactic Civil War when Leia Organa of the Rebel Alliance entrusted them to bring a copy of the Death Star plans to the Jedi Master, Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine. After meeting Skywalker's son, Luke and the smuggler Han Solo, the droids helped rescue Princess Leia from the Empire's Death Star. They became directly attached to the three humans, helping them and their rebellion defeat the Empire and restore freedom to the galaxy, most notably when he convinced the Ewoks to aid the rebels at the Battle of Endor. Small in stature, but revered for his wisdom and power, Yoda trained generations of Jedi, ultimately serving as the Jedi Order's Grandmaster. Yoda was almost 900 years old in the latter days of the Republic. A leading member of the Jedi Council, his contemporaries included other legendary masters, such as Mace Windu. During the invasion of Naboo, the maverick Qui-Gon Jinn introduced Anakin Skywalker to the High Council, believing with absolute certainty that he had discovered the prophesied Chosen One. The Jedi elders sensed that the boy was full of fear and anger, and declined to train him, deeming Skywalker too old and emotionally compromised to commit himself to the Jedi Code. After Jinn's death, the Council reversed their decision and agreed to Skywalker's apprenticeship. At the same time, the Jedi discovered that their ancient nemesis, the Sith, had returned after a millennium in hiding. Aware of the rule of two, Yoda was convinced that at least one more Sith Lord remained active following the death of Darth Maul. Over the next decade, the galaxy was on the verge of civil war, with entire star systems led by Count Dooku, Yoda's one-time Padawan, threatening to secede from the Republic. Unable to defend the entire Republic against this betrayal on their own, the Jedi took command of the newly formed Grand Army of the Republic, with Yoda himself leading an army of clone troopers against the separatist droid army of the Confederacy of Independent Systems in the first battle of the Clone Wars, rescuing the Jedi and Senator from execution. For 3 years, Yoda led the Republic military's war effort as a Jedi general, determined to bring a swift and decisive end to the conflict. During this time, he was approached by the spirit of Qui-Gon Jinn, who helped Yoda learn how to retain his identity as a spirit after death. Yoda's efforts against the separatists were undermined by Darth Sidious, the Dark Lord of the Sith, who conspired to destroy the Jedi and restore the Sith to power. After the Great Jedi Purge commenced in 19 BBY, killing thousands of Jedi both on Coruscant and across the galaxy. Yoda confronted the self-declared Galactic Emperor, but failed to cut short Sidious' reign and consequently retreated into exile, and Anakin Skywalker became the Emperor's loyal servant, Darth Vader. Yoda's remaining years were spent living on a remote world. After the death of Obi-Wan Kenobi, he was able to commune with his spirit, who wished for Yoda to train Anakin's son Luke Skywalker, who soon after sought him out in hope of becoming a Jedi Knight. He trained Skywalker for a time, until Skywalker abruptly left. A year later, with his health rapidly declining, Yoda died of old age when Skywalker returned to see him. He became one with the Force shortly before Luke redeemed his father Anakin, who fulfilled his destiny as the Chosen One by killing Sidious. Manipulated into believing that the Jedi had failed him, and coupled with his fear of losing his wife in childbirth, Anakin Skywalker betrayed and turned against the Jedi Order, believing the Sith Lord Darth Sidious had the knowledge to cheat death. Consumed by the persona of Darth Vader, the fallen Jedi Knight marched his legion of stormtroopers on the Jedi Temple, where they executed its inhabitants, including Jedi younglings, as part of Order 66 and the Great Jedi Purge. Vader was then sent to Mustafar to exterminate the Separatist Council at the behest of his Sith Master, who became the self-proclaimed Galactic Emperor. Vader subsequently sustained severe injuries in his duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and was rebuilt as an armored cyborg while his wife died, though not before giving birth to the twins Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia Organa, who were hidden from their father and the Emperor as the Galactic Empire rose to power. Being the Emperor's fist, and later being elevated to the position of Supreme Commander of the Imperial Fleet, Vader enforced the rule of the New Order as the Emperor's Sith apprentice throughout most of the Imperial era, and was thus seen as de facto commander-in-chief of the entire Imperial military. In the aftermath of killing Kenobi in a duel aboard the Death Star, and the subsequent Battle of Yavin, he discovered the existence of his son, and was determined to turn Luke to the dark side. Luke sought to become a Jedi, like his father before him, and believed that Vader had the potential to turn back to the light side of the Force. Vader was defeated by Luke during the Battle of Endor, but the young Jedi refused to strike down his father in anger, causing the Emperor to torture Luke with Force lightning. The pain inflicted on his son awakened the part of Vader that was still Anakin, resulting in a redeemed Skywalker killing Sidious at the cost of his own life. Having destroyed the Sith and fulfilled his destiny as the Chosen One, Skywalker made peace with his son and became one with the Force. Born on the Mid-Rim planet, Naboo, Sidious possessed a strong connection to the Force and was secretly trained in the ways of the Sith by Darth Plagueis. He eventually betrayed and killed his Sith Master in order to train his own Sith apprentice, Darth Maul, for the rule of two limited their ranks to 2 Sith Lords at any given time. As a result of the invasion of Naboo, a crisis orchestrated by Sidious, the Senate elected Palpatine as Supreme Chancellor. The Separatist crisis and the Clone Wars were masterminded by Sidious and his new apprentice, Darth Tyrannus, in an effort to achieve galactic dominance. Following an attempt to arrest the Chancellor, the Great Jedi Purge commenced, with Sidious enacting Order 66. With the Jedi all but extinct, Sidious installed a new order in the Republic's place, declaring himself Galactic Emperor and bringing an end to the millennia of democracy. Shortly after betraying and causing the death of Tyrannus, he took on a new apprentice, having lured the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker to the dark side and transforming him into Darth Vader. Their reign was virtually unchallenged for a generation until the formation of the Alliance to restore the Republic. During the Galactic Civil War, the Emperor sought to betray Vader by replacing him with the latter's son, Luke Skywalker. However, Sidious' plan backfired when Vader ultimately renounced the dark side and killed Sidious to protect Luke. Thus, with the Sith's destruction, the Force was brought back into balance, fulfilling Anakin's destiny as the prophesied Chosen One. Londo Calrissian was a human smuggler, gambler, and entrepreneur who became Baron Administrator of Cloud City and, later, a general in the Rebel Alliance. Born on Socorro, he was the owner of the Millennium Falcon before losing it to Han Solo in a game of Sobek on Numidium Prime. Afterward, Calrissian put an end to his days as a smuggler and became an entrepreneur, setting up a small mining operation on the planet Lothal before eventually becoming the leader of Cloud City in the skies of the planet Bespin. During the Galactic Civil War, Darth Vader arrived on Cloud City to lay a trap for his son, Luke Skywalker. As part of the trap, the Dark Lord of the Sith forced Calrissian into tricking a group of rebels, including Solo and Princess Leia Organa, leading them to Vader himself. Though Vader promised to leave Cloud City without an Imperial presence, Calrissian felt the deal had been altered to the point where he could no longer tolerate it. Calrissian alerted his citizens to the Galactic Empire's presence and impending occupation and ordered an evacuation. He helped the rebels try to rescue Solo, who had been frozen in carbonite, from Boba Fett, but the bounty hunter escaped. Calrissian joined the Rebel Alliance and set out to find Solo. After locating him in the palace of Jabba the Hutt on Tatooine, Calrissian aided in his rescue. The rebels returned to the fleet, and Calrissian became a general, volunteering to lead the assault on the second Death Star battle station at the Battle of Endor. During the battle, he piloted the Millennium Falcon into the battle station's core, firing the shot which destroyed it. Thrawn first came into contact with the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious, who held a secret double identity as Supreme Chancellor Palpatine of the Galactic Republic, after Thrawn destroyed part of Sidious's private task force. They both agreed on the threat posed by the unknown regions, mostly the Yuuzhan Vong or Far Outsiders, that sealed their informal agreement when Thrawn destroyed the Republic's exploration ship Outbound Flight, so it didn't draw the Yuuzhan Vong towards the Republic and the Chiss Ascendancy, killing many members of the Jedi Order in the process. Thrawn's continued preventive strikes led the Chiss to exile him and an uninhabited world far in the fringes of the Chiss Ascendancy. Soon after the Galactic Republic was reformed into the Galactic Empire, Imperial Navy officer Vos Park encountered Thrawn in the unknown regions and brought him to Emperor Palpatine. Already aware of Thrawn's command skills, knowing that he destroyed Outbound Flight, the Prime Ruler approved his admission to the Starfleet. Over time, Thrawn climbed the ladder of the Imperial military, thinking that he could better defend against the threat of the oncoming Yuuzhan Vong with the Empire than if he returned to the Chiss, and soon became the secret 13th Grand Admiral in the Imperial Navy. The Chiss commander fought both the Rebel Alliance and rogue Imperial officers. Grand Admiral Thrawn's service to the Supreme Commander, Darth Vader, and assistance against Black Sun Underlord Zyza also earned him the allegiance of the Noghri Death Commandos. Simultaneously, he pacified the unknown regions and established a secret empire of his own in world space, believing that only a strong military government could protect the galaxy's diverse species from annihilating each other and to serve as a bulwark against the Yuuzhan Vong. After the Battle of Endor, in which Emperor Palpatine and Lord Vader perished, with the Empire under rival warlords, collapsing as the alliance to restore the Republic was reorganized into the New Republic, Grand Admiral Thrawn returned to the galaxy, taking control of the remaining shattered Imperial forces. With Thrawn's return, he began a campaign against the New Republic, but his unexpected death during the Battle of Bilbringi at the hand of the distraught Noghri assassin, Rock, his bodyguard and most trusted assassin, ended the campaign. Even though his demise failed to restore the Empire, the Grand Admiral left several clones of himself and an empire still unknown to the Republic in preparation for yet unknown threats to the galaxy.